Mr. Paul Hamilton joining us on the Western Hotline to recap the Sabres and Canadiens from last night. The Sabres fall to Montreal. Paul, good morning. Before we get to that, I kind of have a little question for you as a Yankee fan, if you would.
Yes, I would like Don Mattingly to become their manager.
Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
That's good. That's good.
He's on his way to the
The
World
question
Series.
I was going to ask was, Joe dabbles a little Blue Jay fandom. I have dabbled there as well a little bit over the years. And it feels like every time the Blue Jays are good, Yankees and Red Sox fans are like, it won't last. It won't last. And here they are in the World Series, granted for the first time in like 35 years, whatever, like 30 years. So happy for them or hardcore rooting against the Dodgers because of divisional alignments and such?
When I was a kid, I had an American League team and a National League team, and the Dodgers were my National League team.
Wow,
So
there you go.
I would be looking for the Dodgers, but I always felt with the Blue Jays, if the Yankees can't win, let it be the Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. I always kind of I liked the Blue Jays. Of course, I like the Yankees better, but and this year it was rather obvious the Blue Jays were a much better team than the Yankees right from the get-go. I mean, when they first started playing against each other this year, it was very obvious. There wasn't even a comparison between the two teams. So I knew the Blue Jays were better. You were hoping the Yankees somehow would pull it out, but it didn't surprise me at all that the Blue Jays dominated the Yankees like they did.
I'm just thinking about this now, Paul, because did you see the video yesterday? Was it Vlad Guerrero Jr. came in wearing an Austin Matthews jerseys and all the Toronto fans went, uh-oh.
I thought that was a mistake. Listen, understanding that jinxes and energy, whatever, I thought mistake.
By Guerrero?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And a Leaf fan must have been, whatever.
Oh, they were shook. At least on Twitter, at least.
Yes. But I would have been totally shaken by that.
Right. So
see, I didn't know until just this second. I had no idea what everybody was talking about.
Okay,
I heard all the craziness about it. I'm like, who cares? We're wearing Matthews jersey. Now that you guys are talking about it, now I understand what you guys are
Yeah, just because of the Leafs and the playoff failure.
Right.
Paul, we're very accustomed to Toronto fans taking over the building. Friday night, the Leafs are here and the Blue Jays are playing Game 1 of the World Series in Toronto. I don't know, should we I guess I wouldn't even know how to guess this. We've never seen it, right? Like guessing what contingency from Toronto we might get. Could be less. Could be less than normal.
Well, yeah, because
so?
people are going to want to watch the World Series,
right?
Then sit and watch the Leafs, and I would think they would want to watch the World Series over sitting in the arena watching the Leafs play. So, yeah, I think it will affect it in ways like that you won't have as many there because of that. I know I was going to just drive down because I don't take the train for Sabre games because I got to stay late. Mm-hmm. I got to get post-game and that kind of stuff, and I'm afraid there's not going to be a train for me to go back. But this time, there's no way I'm driving to Toronto. I'm driving halfway. I'm getting on the train. There will be plenty of trains because the baseball game, I think, starts at 8.
Right.
And the hockey game will be over. My post game will be over. I'll have plenty of time to hop on a train. I don't even think those people will be out of stadium yet. So I do not want to drive in Toronto on Saturday with the World Series there.
Yeah. Paul, last night the Sabres in Montreal, a loss, so their win streak comes to an end, and I guess there's good and bad from this game, and one of the negatives would be that we saw a team that basically missed an entire period, which happens probably too often for this team just 6 games in.
Yeah, when they did get the offensive zone, at least I thought, well, good, they're still going to the net. They didn't have that much offensive zone time, but when they did, they were around the net trying to get in there. Lindy Ruff made some adjustments at the end of the first period. Montreal apparently had a very good game plan. I guess the Sabres are very predictable on their breakouts. And Montreal just basically got in the way, got in the passing lane, and the Sabres were having a horrible time trying to get out of their end. Ruff made some adjustments in the first intermission. They had 26 shots in the last 2 periods, and it was one of those, by the time the game was over, I think it was a pretty 50-50 even game. Sometimes the Sabres had their way, sometimes the Leafs had their way. both teams missed some golden opportunities. Because I asked Lindy Ruff after the game, I didn't use the word cute, but I said, did you guys pass up on some really good scoring opportunities? He goes, yeah, we did, but he goes, so did they. He goes, it was one of those games where both teams were passing up some really good scoring chances in there. And so the Sabres got there. I thought the game wouldn't even be a blip on the radar if they hadn't lost their first three and now 2-4. But it makes it you got to win that game. You can't go down to 2-4 now. Type of a game. But I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it's a horrible loss. They made the adjustments they needed to make to get back into the hockey game. Really, the things I didn't like is like the second goal by Montreal, where two Sabres are standing next to Slokowski, and nobody did anything. They just stood next to him. Nobody covered him. Kulik was there. Samuelson was there. I don't know if one thought the other had him. I asked Kulik after the game if he thought Samuelson had him, and he goes, I don't know. I don't really remember. I got to look. He goes, I don't know who should have. But the standing around watching a guy tap the thing into an empty net, I mean, yeah, it was a good play by Dobson to hold on to the puck. He put down Lyon. But, you got to have your goaltenders back door there. That's one of the things the Sabres were really weak at for a long time, is leaving the back door open for tap-ins like that. But they just didn't pick it up, and that's the problem I had. They were good in front of the offensive net. They were playing hard, but defensively like that, it's like, you guys can't just stand there and watch them. Somebody's got to pick this guy up.
Did you think similarly about the goal where Krebs couldn't get it cleared, and then him and Power ended up kind of standing there? No, was that one
a little bit of bad luck? I mean, he swung at the puck. He was there. You got to clear the puck out of there. I didn't mind that. Yeah, he could have maybe just knocked down the guy, but he was right there, and he fanned. I mean, what are you going to do? You miss the puck when you. I mean, if he doesn't fan, he knocks the puck into the corner and gets it out of there, and the puck's out of danger. Because I had a couple of fans say, why doesn't he just knock it down and let Lyon, take the shot, or knock the player down, and then go from there? Yes, you could do it that way too, but he was there. He was right there. It wasn't like it was a crazy play or anything. It's like, all right, get the puck out of there. And he fanned, and the Canadian didn't fan, and it's in the net. The third goal is, I said to Brian, I go, I think this is the first time all year we're going to say that Lyon would want that one back. I don't think we could have said that on any goal we've seen so far this year. But there was no screen. It wasn't a real hard shot, and he just looked like he missed it. But, hey, the guy's human. Come on, the way he's played. Even this game, I could make a case that both goaltenders could have been the stars in this game. I thought they were very good. Yeah, that's one he'd want back. But I thought both goaltenders made some really good saves in this game.
Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline chatting with us about the Sabres and Canadiens last night. Paul, they've got, you mentioned it was the kind of game that would just, I don't know, maybe like blend in and be a regular hockey game, if not for their opening 3-game losing streak. And I kind of said the same thing to Joe. Like in the second period, they looked like a team that was playing with energy. And I heard you on the pregame show with Shope and the Bulldog talking about this as well. The idea that they're younger players that have come in can maybe be a little bit of the shakeup that the whole group needs. They're like, here, we're just a hockey team. We're not some, ship that's already sinking because of 3 straight losses. I know that around here things can pile up quickly, but whether it's Doan or if it's Benson or if it's Kulik, like you've got some players here that can really kind of spark a little bit of energy in the way that they play.
Yeah, and I liked having Kulik on in the post game. He's still not happy with his game. I thought he played a good game yesterday, and ever since Lindy Ruff basically benched him in practice, and told him he didn't like his first 3 games and he has to be much, much better. I think each game he's gotten better, and I thought he played pretty well. Just the work that they put in on his goal, he and Benson. They're on the wall. They win the battle. They go to the battle together. They win the battle. They split up. Kulik goes to the net. Benson gets it to him. He makes he's very patient on the back end to wait for Dobish to open up the pads a little bit and scores. That's the Kulik that. And I also noticed Kulik doing a good job in the defensive zone a couple of times too, watching him. So it seems like, message received, and it seems like he's not happy. He goes, nah, I can be better. I'm not there yet. And I was happy to hear him say that.
Paul, have you liked Thompson's game the last couple of nights? I think last night we saw some turnovers, but I don't know. Like when he's not scoring goals, maybe that's what it comes down to. Is if he's scoring goals, he's giving you value. And I don't know. Like, have you seen anything from him the last couple of nights that you've liked or not liked?
Somebody said to me that he thought he was having a really bad game during the game. And I thought, well, he's got 8 shot attempts, and it was in the second period.
Yeah.
And I said, at this point in the game, he's got 8 shot attempts. What happens with him is, he's going to carry the puck some. I think that's going to produce some turnovers now and then because, with a player like him, he's got to have the puck, and a lot of the times he'll make something happen out of it, which he did at other times during the game, where he would get the puck to the net. And on the power play, he had 2 really good chances. He had another play where he came around in a wraparound and had a good chance and then set up Benson for a one-timer. Those were 2 great saves by Dobish where the Sabres could have, tie the game there. I think the couple of turnovers that maybe you're talking about or the person who was writing me talked about, yes, they're there. Yes, you'd like to clean those up. But I think some of it is a product of he's going to be carrying the puck a lot. And that's what he does. And that's how he scores 45 goals or 44 goals or, having the puck and creating offense. And sometimes it goes a little bit south on him. But I don't know. I just didn't think he was playing as poorly as maybe the guy who was writing me thought he was. And maybe it was a turnover or 2 that was aggravating him also. And what I was seeing, he said he thought he was slow. And I didn't. No, I thought he's getting up ice pretty well. I didn't think he was slow, and he was getting good shooting opportunities and taking the opportunities to shoot the puck.
Paul Hamilton with us. Paul, were you impressed by Montreal? Paul, they're young, they're fast. They added Dobson this offseason, made the playoffs last year. I don't know, when you watch them last night, do you feel like that's a team that could do even more than they did last year, which was just a wild card spot?
Yeah, no, they are. They're a good young team. Demidov is a good young player. He's a little bit like Thompson. He's going to carry the puck. He's going to do some things that make you go, ooh, wow. And he's also going to, oh, come on, you turn the puck over there, because he wants the puck and he wants to try to do special things with it. So, yeah, I do think they're a good young team. And, of course, Suzuki, every year he just seems to get better. He gets to Montreal. He was okay. And next thing you know, he's a really good player last year. And, he had 2 assists in this game, and he put himself up to 10 points this year. And just watching him play, he's always, on the puck. He's good in all 3 zones. And, you got him and Caulfield at the top of your scoring list, which, of course, that's who's going to be up there. Sabres, did a good job on Caulfield yesterday. He didn't really hurt them too badly as far as, what he can do and what he is capable of creating. But, I do think they're a good young and up-and-coming team. They had to kind of pivot and goal because Dobish has been great. Montembeault, who really helped them go last year and got them on that streak because he was just red hot. His numbers are horrendous. He had played 6 games. Dobish has now played 3 and has been lights out in all 3 games that he's played. So I don't know if he's now the number 1 goaltender or getting close to it, but they got to get the goaltending they got last year, and they're getting it from a different guy. And, hey, as long as you're getting it from somebody, it doesn't really matter who it is.
Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline chatting Sabres, who lost to Montreal. Next up, another divisional game Wednesday. It'll be the Detroit Red Wings that come to town, and then home and home with Toronto. Thanks, Paul. Safe travels.
Take care, guys.
All right. Sabres coming back from Montreal, looking to beat the Red Wings, who are atop the division last I checked. They've had a good start to the season.
Yep.